Hi guys, it's reaction time. We've got Opeth and S3. Now, I think it's S3, and I do apologise. Now, if it's not, obviously. So, Opeth. I am not a massive Opeth fan. I know they're a big deal, by the way. And I appreciate everything they've given to the metal world. Of course, they're massive. Well thought of band, and rightfully so, you know. So, I didn't know whether to do this or not. And anyone who watches my channel will know I'm not a fan of growling or harsh vocals, whatever you want to call it, you know. And I know that on the last song, I was actually going to cover the last Opeth song, and then because I don't want to, I appreciate growling vocals, what they do, but I don't like them. It's just not my thing. And obviously, the massive thing about the last song from Opeth was that the growling vocals were back. So I mean, there was an album that I really loved back when I was, you know, quite a few years back from Opeth, and it was when they first strayed into, like, there was an acoustic album, and I forgive my ignorance, please, Opeth fans, and I really liked that album. I can't remember what it was called. Perhaps you can put it in the comments below, but I know I could easily look at that. But it was it was like they did like I think the same year or the year before, they did like a full sort of black metal progressive sort of album, and then they did this acoustic one, and I really liked the songs on that. And then I know they've been going more into prog rock stylings, you know, for years now, and the harsh vocals have gone, but I've never really given them probably not enough of a chance, I suppose you could say. So Opeth, the new song, my mate Jam, obviously Jam, one of the Idiots, sent it to me. He said, look, they've got a new song. And then he said, I'm not sure, because he knows about the growling vocal thing. He said, I'm not sure if this one's got growling vocals, I'll let you know. So he said, no, there's no growling vocals. So I said, right. So I'm going to cover the new Opeth song. Now, this might be more of a appreciating the song rather than loving the song. I'll give my honest opinion, of course. Because, you know, I've heard some Opeth songs, even though I've not really fully gone into them. I have heard some of the later ones, you know, the more recent ones. But I've never really given them too much of a chance. So I will listen to this, give you my honest opinion. But it might be something I more admire for than actually get into. That can happen, can't it? You know. So that's me being honest there. So Opeth, I think it's S3. It looks like an S. It's a bit hard to, unless anyone could explain in the comments below as well, whether I'm saying it if it is S. I don't. It's like a double S. It could be SS3. I don't know. I think the last one was S1, wasn't it? Anyway, this is Opeth. This is the new song. Here we go. I'm going to stop it there, guys. And anyone who doesn't watch this channel, which could be more this song more than others, because I've never covered Opeth before and they're such a big deal. So to let you know, I always stop at halfway through and give my opinion halfway through. It's probably a bit harsh to do with Opeth as well, because there's so much going on in a song. It might be the wrong place to stop. So first of all, it's so difficult with something as progressive as this. And again, all you Opeth fans, all you progressive rock and metal fans, forgive me because I'm not an expert, right? Far from it. Okay. So it's difficult because on first listen, I would say, in my opinion, on first listens for something as progressive as this, and it feels very progressive to me because I'm not an expert on progressive music. It's yeah, it's gonna take multiple listens for, you know, it all sounds great, by the way, on first listen, but you know, melodies, all the melodies sound great as they're happening, but as a whole it's quite hard for me to understand the song on first listen. I understand it all sounds great, but I mean, it sounds very gothic-y. I think the overall atmosphere that this song brings is great. It's very gothic horror vibe, if that makes any sense. Musicianship is off the charts, obviously. I love his vocals, man. Especially like he went from that real deep sort of gothic type feel, and then when he started, like, you know, reaching out a little bit more, very smooth. Love his vocals, man. Just gorgeous vocals. It's very complicated to me. It sounds very complicated. And so I delved into some prog last year, more than I ever have probably, but it wasn't as proggy as this. The Mayfire album, I love that, but it was more obviously straightforward than this, but it had lots of progressive elements, but it was not as complicated as this. So it's hard for me to get into the song right now, but appreciating it I can. It sounds, you know, really complicated to play. It's got this very cool atmosphere running all the way through it. I can understand why people love it, but it's going to take time with me. That's the trouble. That's the problem with my, you know, my life in general, and everyone's life, is how much time can you put into an album, a song and an album, especially if you're trying to cover all new music throughout the year. It's not easy. And it's sad for me to say, like, you know, as great as Opeth are, I'm not sure if they're going to get the full intent listening from me. You know, what does it matter? They're famous enough as it is. But, you know, and I feel bad about that, because I think, you know, this album that's going to come out, you'd probably need to spend listening to it every day. And I can't do that. I've got a lot going on. I've got a full-time job. I've got this channel. I've got all the other music that's out. You know, I've got a lot going on in my life. So it's not, I feel bad that I can't, but I can appreciate this song. It sounds great. It sounds epic. It's got everything I would probably, you know, listening to fans talk about Opeth, about their progressive 70s side, you know. It's got everything that sounds like it will please Opeth fans, to me. I mean, that people were over the moon when the aggressive vocals, the growling vocals came back. You know, that's not for me. Vocally, this is perfect, and I really like the song. Whether I can give it enough listens to love it is a different matter. But I won't. Trouble is, people could really, like, you know, delve into this and explain it properly, who love progressive music and can really, you know, pull it apart. Just not me, is it? But as a whole, sounds great, man. Here we go for the rest. it's hard. It's really hard. My favourite part, obviously, was the more straightforward section, which was that the solo was great because it almost took this sort of more straightforward rhythm. But man, I think there's so much to unpack. It's so clever, and I would never doubt why people would love this band. I would never doubt that. I can totally understand. But I don't know. I will give the album a go as well. But I think it just needs... It probably needs someone that's not like me, who hasn't got the time to put into one album. You know, Opeth fans are going to go mad and they're going to listen to this non-stop until the next Opeth album comes out. And that's probably, you know, music like this that's so intricate and so clever and so, you know, full of technical ability and so much to unpack, isn't there? There's so many layers, if you like, to the onion on this band that you could go on forever with it. But what I do like about it is the, you know, it almost made me feel like this sort of Hammer House of Horror feel. I'm a massive horror fan. So when I grew up watching Hammer House of Horror and Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, you know, with all that music, it almost gives me that feel, that horror vibe, you know. But I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if this is going to be a concept album. With the titles of the songs, maybe it's just going to be called that, like all the way through, numbers to them, I don't know. But I can understand the love for the band, and I really appreciate the band. Whether I love the song or not is a different matter. But guys, you Opeth fans, don't want to offend anyone, obviously, but let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.